It's the same reason why a Fortune 500 company doesn't have one employee. They have a board. They have a CEO, they have the COO, they have this CT, they have the CTA, they have the ABCs and the XYZs. They have all their chief officers, right? And then they also have their board of directors. There's a reason why there's not just one person doing it. It's because when you bring them all together, there is something magical that happens. I want to ask you this question. When was the last time that you had this revolutionary thought by yourself? Some of you might say, well, I just had it the other day. Some might say it was a couple months ago, but I can probably guarantee 99% of the time it was because of something that happened to you, something outside of your story, outside of your perspective, that finally hit something in your brain that connected the wires, and you finally thought, that's it. At the beginning of this year, I wanted to lose weight. It seems like that's like what everybody wants to do. You hear New Year's resolutions, you hear losing weight. Right up there next to spend more time with the family and make more money. Right up there with everything that we want in life is to lose weight, look good, and smile while doing it. Ever since the 8th grade, I want you to come back with me to the 8th grade. Imagine walking down your middle school hallway. And as you turn a corner, you see standing in the hallway by himself is this short, chubby kid. Doesn't have any confidence, really shy, just waiting for the door to open to get to his next class so that he can sit by himself, get the grades that he needs to, and hopefully get home so that he can play his video games, eat his snacks, and watch his movies. That was me. I've been overweight since I was in the 8th grade. I look back at pictures and I think, how did I get there? How in the world can in 8th grade, which is about, I believe, 13 or 14 years, 12 or 13 years old, I looked at myself and there's this short, chubby kid. And throughout high school, after high school, into serving a religious mission, into college, and beyond that, I always, in my mind, thought of myself as just this chubby person. And it wasn't until the beginning of this year, which I made a goal for myself to just lose some weight. I hit my max weight of 295. 295 pounds was this little keg that I got hanging on me. And to bypass the humility of it, to bypass me and my mind thinking, you're not good enough. Anything you do ain't gonna work. So why are you even trying? When you go out with all these entrepreneurs who are achieving stuff and these successful people who are doing things, are you not a fraud because you can't even control your own weight? These were thoughts going through my head. But there was something that happened that made me want to change. I got a part of a group. And this group, we met every single day, 7 in the morning. It was an accountability group. It was with one of my mentors and several other people. And every single day, we came together to be able to talk about what is the goal for this week, what is the goal for next week. And every single week, we'd come up with what are we going to achieve this week that goes to a longer goal that we're going for. I didn't want to be this fat kid. I don't want to be this big adult. I don't like walking out and having to wear a shirt every time that I go to the swimming pool or to a lake. I don't like the way that I look. And it came to that head at the beginning of this year. And I thought to myself, what do I have to do to change? Because I've been through everything. I've dieted. I've done the whole P90X and T25. I've done the whole going and trying to get all the junk food out of the house and just eat salad. I've tried just making smoothies for breakfast and lunch, then dinner's a small meal. I've tried cutting out calories. I've tried more protein. Like I've tried all this, and all of it got me back to the same place that I was until this group, until more people came along. And they helped me to realize that it's not about the system that you use that other people think that it's going to work. It's about the one that works for you. And in my experience, the one that works for me is the one that is easier for me to do with the accountability of someone else. Let me say that again. The system that works best for me and for other people is one that is easy and you're able to do with the accountability of someone else. Because a lot of times we get confused when it comes to accountability, imagination, and when it comes to accountability, we think that if we have somebody to keep us accountable and just be there, everything's going to be great. But if it's too hard, then we stop showing up, regardless of if people are there. And on the flip side, if you are doing something that's easy, but then don't have an accountability person, unless you are of the highest of integrity, do what you say, unless you are someone who never makes mistakes, then sometime you're going to fall back, just like I did. So from the beginning of this year to this date, I'm proud to say that I've lost 30 pounds. I went from 295 now to 265 and continuing on. And I look back and I think, what was the thing that helped out the biggest? What was the thing that helped out the most? And it was this thing called masterminding. Masterminding in Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich talks about bringing a group together in harmony, trying to achieve something of a like-minded goal. And I know I butchered that a little bit, but the synopsis is there. Bringing together in harmony of trying to achieve something of like-mindedness. And it doesn't have to be the same thing. Because in that group, for me, it was losing weight. For another person, it was making more money. For a separate person, it was simply being able to manage their time and their life with their kids that they had. All that together, we simply all wanted to be better in our own areas. And because we came together, three things happened. The first thing was accountability. I was telling people exactly what was happening with my weight loss. I didn't lie about it. I said, I am at my max weight and I want to lose it. I don't like the way I am. I've been there since the 8th grade, and I need someone to not hold my hand like micromanaging, but someone to just be there so that when I don't do what I say I don't do, that you can come in and say, "Hey, Willie, we got to change this up. We got to stick to it. You've fallen. Now it's time to get up." That accountability aspect helps out so much. Because again, if we just do it ourselves, we don't do much. Like with our New Year's resolutions, so many people are like, I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to spend more time with my family. I'm going to make more money. And then the statistics show that within 2 weeks, within 4 weeks, within 2 months, at least 50% of people stop going after their goal. And I think it's because they don't have this thing called the mastermind, which one part of it is the accountability side. The second part is that you gain more perspective when other people are around you. We have our own perspective. We have our own mindset. We have our own experiences and wisdom and knowledge that we've accumulated. But that can only solve a problem a certain way. When you bring other people in, they have their own perspectives and knowledge and wisdom and experiences. And when you combine that together with the harmony we talked about, then you're able to find different solutions for the problem that you've been facing. And it took me to be in a group like that to finally, after all these fad diets, all these need to work out, have a gym membership, after all of that, listening to them, listening to the ones who actually have lost weight, what's worked for them, I was able to sit back and say, okay, what works for me personally is doing things in bursts, doing things of all in nature, and making it fun, making the gamified system. Incorporating those things together helped me go from 295 to 265, losing that 30 and continuing on. So when you have that perspective from other people, you gain more insight, which then leads to the third one, which is this thing called the third mind. Not only can you learn from people's experiences, but when we are all together in this mastermind format, grouped together in that harmony, there's this weird thing that's called a third mind, which in simple terms is I have one mind, someone has another mind, but then the solution that comes up, the ideas and the insights that occur would not have happened if I was by myself, if they were by themselves. But it happened because as we were talking and as we were discussing, this new idea appeared out of nowhere. And it's funny because it kind of is just like out of nowhere. But it's because of the ability of when we bring people together and we are all trying to do something more, all trying to achieve something that we both want. This it's not an entity, but this like this third mind, this ability to of insight happens that it just unleashes this whole new realm of ideas. It's the same reason why a Fortune 500 company doesn't have one employee. They have a board. They have a CEO, they have the COO, they have this CT, they have the CTA, they have the ABCs and the XYZs. They have all their chief officers, right? And then they also have their board of directors. There's a reason why there's not just one person doing it. It's because when you bring them all together, there is something magical that happens. When you bring people together in the true mastermind method, you get more than just sitting there by yourself. Stephen R. Covey says something like this, which is called synergy. Which, if you can imagine, two people walking up the hill and to this apple tree, and there's five apples on the tree. One person reaches up and they can't reach a single one. So one person can't do it, and the other person reaches up, they can't get any either. So the 1 + 1 = 0. But then if that one person were to then get on the shoulders of another, then they're able to get all five apples, to which then 1 + 1 is 5. So if 1 = 0 in the situation, I know I said 1 + 1 = 0, but if 1 = 0, but then 1 + 1 = 5, just imagine the more people that you can get together that are in harmony and are trying to do the same thing, how much of multiples you'll get in the results that you have. So my challenge for you is that with this mastermind methodologies that Napoleon Hill talks about and bringing people together, I want you to find one or two people yourself. The goal that you and have it be those people who are trying to achieve the same goal that you have. And I want you to see that through the accountability, through the perspectives that are in there that you bring from each person, as well as the harmony of the true mastermind and that third mind, you are going to get accelerated results way more than if you did it alone. And if you don't have that group, come to Champion Circle. We do this with many business owners and entrepreneurs. We have groups that can help you, and we are all like-minded because we all want to improve. And if that's you, you should come to one of our meetings. But find one or two of those people who can go with you, because when you have people together, you can achieve more. And all in all, isn't it just better to actually get the result that we want rather than trying to do it solo and never reaching it at all? Go forward, champions, and make the mastermind and achieve the results you have always wanted to achieve.